Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you're well. My video is coming at you a little late. That being said, we are at Thursday. We are March 26th. We are 2020, and we're still Ukiah High Wildcats. We're just learning and teaching a little differently. We're going to go over our daily coronavirus news. First, I want to take a look at the World COVID Tracker from Johns Hopkins Research Institute on the coronavirus. Next, we're going to look at the California COVID Tracker from San Francisco Chronicle. We're going to look at some interesting information William Barr, the United States Attorney General, put out regarding prisons and coronavirus. Lastly, we're going to look more hyper-local and look at how parks are now closed in Mendocino County. So let's get rolling today. Let's look at some data. The first piece I want to look at is the Johns Hopkins coronavirus information display. Let's just kind of look at what this website has to offer us. It's actually some cool stuff. So this is worldwide total deaths, 23,067. This list, the highest deaths are going to be in Italy, next Spain, Hubei, China, which is the state region that Wuhan is in, Iran, France, the UK, Netherlands, and then 281 deaths in New York City in the United States, Germany, Belgium. So you're seeing across the nation, these are sort of picking up, across the world. Total recovered. This is a more sobering number. These are the people that got it, that recovered. So, like, here's Hubei, 3,169 deaths, 61,201 recovered. So there's a lot of people that are not dying from this experience when they are actually diagnosed. Let's take a look at the worldwide confirmed cases map. This is fascinating. That graph does not seem to be flattening quite yet. Daily increase. That kind of is mirroring the first graph we looked at there. Can we click into the US? Zoom in. No, this website is cool. Wow. So you've got to think that we're seeing large clusterings of cases around urban areas. New York is going to be one of the centers, the center in the United States. Looks like Chicago, Detroit, we know of Seattle. It's going to be up in Portland, San Francisco, Los Angeles, San Diego. Looks like Dallas, Houston, down in Florida. So it really seems like the major metropolitan areas: Denver, Salt Lake City, Las Vegas. Those major metropolitan areas are definitely centers. Confirmed cases by state. New York has the most. New Jersey, second most. Look at the difference in numbers here. 37,678. And the second highest is 4,000. So New York is really going through this. That's wild. So I check this every day. Like, I check my coronavirus map from San Francisco Chronicle. That's specific to California. Good old Mendocino County is represented here. We have 2 confirmed cases at this point. I believe there's like 37 tests pending. That could change any moment. Yesterday, Humboldt County went from having 5 to 10 in one press release. You can see San Francisco, the San Francisco region. Santa Clara County is the county closest to us with the highest. Los Angeles County is ballooned. They have 800 cases. I like this graph. Total new cases, total cases versus new cases. And I think that gives you kind of a better sense of which counties are maybe approaching the flattening of the curve as they practice shelter in place. Like Alameda County, it seems like it's continuing to grow pretty significantly. San Mateo, Santa Clara, that's the county that we noticed up here that's getting hit hardest in the Northern California region. New confirmed cases in California by day. So it does seem as if there's a lot of cases in the outside of the Bay Area that are being identified. It looks like that's today. And cases in the Bay Area, there's a small incremental growth, but not like outside the Bay Area. Maybe that just has to do with testing. This is a graph that has to do with the number of people tested, and you are seeing that once looks like we got to March 15th, that just started to climb, which we have 18,000 approximately just tested this last week with only 20. So wow, a dramatic amount of the tests in California have all happened in this past week, like 2/3 of them. Oh, that's a cool graph. Coronavirus tests per million people. So for every million people in New York, you're at like 4,600 people. The overall United States looks like 1,300. And in California, wow, so California has a pretty low average test rate. Oh, and at the bottom here, it looks like they are curating a map of each state. Bless my mama. She's out there in Texas. She's a nurse. She's treating COVID patients. Let's get out of the map game, the data game, though. I check it every day. William Barr, he's our Attorney General. And I just find this fascinating because it's such a localized set of the population with very little option to limit social distancing. Federal prisons mustn't become petri dishes for coronavirus, which is a scientific metaphor. Petri dishes are the circular dishes scientists use to grow samples of viruses and bacteria. The U.S. Bureau of Prisons could begin sending home some of its oldest and most at-risk inmates as part of its response to the coronavirus pandemic, Attorney General Bill Barr said on Thursday. These are particular concerns in this institutional setting within prisons. We want to make sure our institutions don't become petri dishes and it doesn't spread rapidly through an institution. But we have protocols that are designed to stop that, and we are using all the tools we have. Some prisons are responding with lockdowns, increased isolation. Oof. Everyone entering a prison is now having his or her temperature checked, and new inmates are being quarantined for 2 weeks. Yeah, that's a wild thing to consider because these individuals are living in such close contact. We know that the virus can live on like metal surfaces for like 6 days, 7 days. I'm really glad to hear that they're considering these measures of sending elderly inmates home. The risk of elderly inmates returning to lives of crime, I think, is limited, and they're probably most susceptible to being sickened by the illness. I want to return to Mendocino County's page on COVID-19. First off, I want you to notice that they're utilizing the Johns Hopkins data to inform some of their decision making. I always like to look at the data our government is using to inform its decisions. Recently, a new shelter-in-place protocol was issued because it was experienced that many Californians were not following the shelter-in-place protocols, and some of the protocols were not really necessarily limiting social distancing like needed. Total positives now in the county are 2. We have 2 total tests, and with that, we have 37 tests pending. So let's see how that changes. The thing I really wanted to point out that's going to affect Wildcats, Wildcat parents, Wildcat students, Wildcat Nation is going to be the reality that in Mendocino County, I'm going to the Facebook page for Mendocino County Department of Public Health. Parks are closed. Playgrounds, sport fields, courts, courses, picnic areas, BBQs, fitness courses, parking lots, restrooms. Logat Park, Todd Grove, Vinewood, all of it. It has to do with sheltering in place and staying healthy. We are in a time where the way we protect each other is by not being near each other. And I know that's really wild, but I honestly, I ask myself the essential question every time I leave my home. If I had the virus, is me leaving this place of protection worth it? Um, Please consider this before you decide to go hang out with buddies. I've already seen some people sneaking across the Logat Park barriers. Um, I know people are having law enforcement interactions because law enforcement is asking, "Why are you here?" Um, so please follow the shelter in place protocols, socially distance. That's how we end this thing. That's how we get back to business, back to school as soon as possible. I miss you guys. This isn't the way I wanted to be a teacher. This isn't the way you wanted to be a student, but this is how we're doing it. And we're going to do it. And we're going to do it. And we're going to make the best of it that we can. If you have any questions, concerns, call me, email me. I'm going to be doing an inventory of all the students that haven't done work, and the office is going to be contacting you because we need to make sure that you're staying on top of your business. Let's talk soon. Stay strong, Wildcats. Be well.